I'm just gonna hook into his leg like so. I know he's probably gonna try to roll out, so when he does, hey guys, Caleb with Flow Theory Grappling, and today we're going to be covering a high-risk arm-in guillotine. And this is my personal favorite variation, and then we'll also cover a couple of insights on the guillotine, guillotines in general, that should help in all your guillotine variations. So, let's get started. So we're going to start out in a kneeling front headlock. Again, we can set this up. I'll show some context later, right, in a standing position, things like that. All right, but I'll demonstrate it from a kneeling front headlock. All right, so we're going to start in front headlock where we have a chin strap and we have a partner's arm, right, like so. This is typically our preferred front headlock position, right, especially in regards to setting up guillotines, because this chin strap, right, allows me to pull my partner's chin away from his body, which then allows me to start sliding my arm through, right. If I don't have that and his chin is really tight, it can be hard to come through, right, and get underneath the neck, right. So this chin strap helps with that. Right. In addition, the details on gripping that chin strap are very important. So if you come really close here, right, I'm not going to be grabbing right in the middle of my hand. Right? I'm going to be going, we call goosenecking, right, this fleshy part of my thumb. That's what's going to catch underneath his chin. Right? That way, I have more mass there. Right? His chin is just naturally going to be further out because I demonstrate being this close to his own body and this close to his own body, right? So I'm goosenecking, right, with that wrist, right, and pulling that chin towards me, right? Now, whenever I'm ready, right, I'm gonna shoot my arm through, and my head, in order to shoot all the way through, has to move, right? So my ear is currently on this side of his body, right? But in order to get my wrist high, my head has to move across his body to the other side. Now this wrist can come high, right? My head stays here, like I'm really trying to get my wrist tight, I just can't reach. But as my head moves, right, that wrist can come up with you. So, right, we're in, I'm pulling the chin, my head moves, right, and we slide that wrist high. Now from here, right, we know that he wants his head in my center line, I want his ear on my lap, right? So, from here, once I get that high wrist, right, I'm going to slide my body in and pull up. That way I place my lap on his ear, right? If you have to, you can use an assist, right? But yeah, I want to get his ear on my lap, right? So, slide through, head has to move, right? Now I come in and put that head on my lap. Right? Now, right, to get to the arm in position, again, we could finish lots of guillotine variations without the arm in. I typically find that the arm-in guillotine is by far one of the hardest variations to escape from, right? So, again, sliding, getting that ear to my lap. Right, now from here, I want to make sure that I keep my palm close to my own chest, right? The lower it is, right, the weaker it's going to be, right? So now, once I get his ear on my lap, right, I lower my chest to allow my hands to go there. Right, now from here, I get his arm in, my knee's gonna slide in, right, and I'm gonna shelf his arm. Right, now from here, my arm is gonna come through and grab my own elbow. So if you come, come to this side. So this arm comes over his arm, and I'm gonna just pull my own elbow from here. Right, now to actually finish from here, right, I'm gonna tuck my own shin. That way I can sit to my own, to my hip, right. And from here we can finish, right? We can finish in like half guard variations, we can finish in a typical, right, type finish, right? And we give it back. The directionality that we finish and the overall crunching movement here is really important as well, right? So whenever we go to finish, right? So, right, I have my guillotine locked up. Right? Again, this is pretty much the same for any guillotine, right? But specifically this one, in regards to this elbow pull, right? Whenever I sit through, I want to make sure that I'm crunching into my arm, right? I don't want to extend away because there's a good chance, right? The more I extend away, the more space there is for his head to pop out, right? So I don't want to extend. I want to be crunching through, and my elbow is going to be, I'm pulling my elbow across like so. So So I'm strangling, right? I'm sitting into it and I'm pulling everything in tight, right? So my whole body compresses and almost like I'm uppercutting along my body. Right? That's the finishing motion. Right, so you do that from this angle. Right? So I have guillotine all locked up. Right, I go to sit through. Right, however I lock. Right, like be in half guard, be a typical finishing position. Again, notice I'm pulling my elbow through. Notice how my head comes in, like so. Right, so one more time. I sit through and I flush. And we get to finish. Here's a really useful insight. Right? Now, whenever you're escaping guillotines, for me, the hardest one to escape is one where you're in more of a half guard, right? Where you're locked down and you can't roll out. Right? So the problem with a lot of guillotines, right, is the escape is relatively easy, right? So if my partner guillotines me, right, now he sits through, right? From here, right, this leg stops me from just hopping over, right? Because if this leg is down, right, one of the best ways to escape any guillotine is just get your body to the opposite side of the guillotine, right? Now, this leg stops me from hopping over, right? So my only escape is this way. So most of the time we're going to escape this with a rollout. Right? So from here, I start rolling out, right? And maybe I escape all the way there, or maybe he still has some sort of lock, right? And we end up in a more north-south position, or ultimately even we can keep walking, right, to get to the opposite side of our partner's body, right? But that's a super useful escape, right? So what makes it a lot harder to escape is if you lock that leg down, right? So I come in, right, here to my lat. Yeah, the better you get, you start doing a couple of these steps simultaneously, right? But now when I finish, instead of taking my leg over his back, right, I'm just gonna hook into his leg like so. So I know he's probably gonna try to roll out, so when he does, it gives you that lockdown. So now you can't continue rolling, right, and we get that finish. So one important note about the guillotine, right? When I was first working guillotines, it was one of the most frustrating submissions to really get good at, right? Because with a lot of submissions, arm bars, rear naked choke, right? Rear naked choke's a great contrast, right? You can systematically go in and finish, even if your partner has really good defense. So from rear naked choke, we have the problem that our partner has more defensive hands than we have strangle hands, right? But in order to make this easier for us, we go in, right? We start trapping arms, right? Now he doesn't have anything to defend, right? So even if your partner, again, is using those hands, we can go in and eliminate those defensive hands. Now the problem with guillotines is that we don't have the same ability to isolate, right, that arm away from his defensive hands. Once you realize that guillotines are more of an opportunistic submission, right, then yeah, it's a lot less frustrating when you're trying to go in guillotine, and also you abandon it a lot sooner than just trying to just force it when your partner's hands are in place. And so again, you've probably all been in a situation where we're in a front headlock and our partner has their hands in, and you just want to guillotine, right? You're trying to guillotine, you want to work at guillotines, right? So you came in that day trying to work, and your partner just puts those defensive hands in. There are things we can do to maybe, take one hand away at a time, right? But realistically, it's very difficult to force a guillotine when your partner has good, grips and defensive hands in place. So, right, keep that in mind, right? And know that the more your partner is defending this, right, the easier it'll be to start coming in and going behind your partner, right? And the more your partner starts defending you going behind him, right, the hands start to come away from the guillotine, right? And now, again, you'll find more opportunity to go in and finish. Right, so that should be very helpful. All right, so now sort of show some context. Again, when you would hit the guillotine more often, right? So, in takedown, standing position, maybe my partner shoots, or however, I got him in a front headlock here, right? And he's not defending his neck yet, right? A lot of times your partner is still reaching and doing things from this type of situation. These are the biggest situations, the best situations, right, where guillotines will come through for you. So and now he doesn't have defensive hands because his hands are occupied doing something. So these are where you'll start feeling the opportunity, right, to come in and block, right? So again, just keep that in mind, right? That'll help you not get frustrated when you go in. You're like, I'm working guillotines today, and then everyone just turns up and defends, right? So yeah, just accept the back exposure. Again, and just keep working. It takes time to find those opportunities. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you found any information in this video useful, please leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it really helps us out. Make sure to leave a comment, any questions, thoughts, video ideas, right? And we'll see what we can do.